What's going on, everyone? It's Tuesday, October 14th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. And we have a great show for you today. I'm your host here, Jason Cooper, alongside Jacob Gramegna, my producer, on today's show. Great stuff coming up for today. We got Drew Dinsick coming on. Going to be talking NFL futures, a couple other things like that. Going to look at some different markets like to miss the playoffs. Who's going to get the number one seed in the AFC? A couple other futures markets. Then we got So Many Sports coming on. He's going to be talking some MLB and some NHL, mostly NHL. Just wanted to do like a little State of the Union with him about our Jays because, it was a tough day to be a Toronto fan on this on a fine Thanksgiving Monday up in Canada. Tough day. But then Rob will come on to close out the show. Going to talk through, like he always does, Week 7 line watch. Talk us through everything that's moved this week. If he agrees with the moves, if he disagrees with it, what was the kind of reason why those lines are moving the way they are. Before we get into today's show, do us a huge favor. Smash that like button. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. And instead of asking you to subscribe, I'm going to say thank you for subscribing because over the weekend, we finally crossed 4,000 subscribers. We're at 4,010 right now. Appreciate you guys for doing that. If you want to subscribe, do it. If you haven't already, do it. But yeah, instead of me asking, I'm just going to say thank you. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's get into today's show. It was a tough day to be a Toronto fan yesterday.
Yeah, I was at the game, the Jays game.
Man.
It was, just super deflating out the gate to have a 3-run blast in the first inning. But the vibes were pretty good when they came back. It felt like really good in the ballpark. They had an opportunity to take the lead, but it quickly just descended. Losing 2 home games to start a series is brutal. I can't see much way back at this point.
It's a tough day in the city. Like, you're down 2-0, 3-game homestand for Seattle.
Yeah. And the Jays had the very large pitching advantage in games 1 and 2.
Yeah,
and the Mariners have an even larger advantage in games 3 and 4.
So yeah, it'll be tough for us there. Small thing that happened during the game. Barger, you just got to take it. Just get it. Just lean in there and take the pitch. It was inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, but
there was an even more egregious take the pitch in the Brewers-Dodgers game because if a guy had taken a pitch, I forget who was at the plate.
I think it was Terang.
Yeah, if he took one off the knees in the 9th inning, they would have tied the game. Instead, he strikes out on the next pitch after that on a horrific swing and miss. Yeah, that was. The Leafs lose as well. If you're a Bills fan as well, it's just awful.
You went 0-3 if you're a Bills fan from Toronto. There are people in this city who spent probably like $1,000 on tickets to go to the Jays and Leafs, hit the Jays-Leafs parlay.
Yeah.
And those people watched our teams lose twice.
There were a lot of empty seats after the 7th inning.
I can imagine. What was it, 10-3? I was
ended 10-3.
I was trying to juggle between that and the football game. I'm like, the second Polanco hit the home run, he just like football from here on out.
There were some poor calls against the Jays, but ultimately it didn't really matter. They got smoked.
Yeah. Anyways, quickly talking about today's show. So many's gonna be on. Quick, brief NFL talk with him, but on Thursday we're gonna be doing a little bit of extra stuff, some overtime for you edge workers in the chat, the edgers in the chat. I know you guys want to see edge work, so we're gonna go over our normal hour slot. We're actually going to go an extra 30 minutes, and we're going to talk specifically hockey. This is just for you guys. So you better be there on Thursday because we're doing it for you. So if you're not there, then we're going to stop doing it. It's as simple as that. Listen, I want to do it too. I enjoy doing it. The more I get to talk, the more I like it. But we need you guys to show up for it as well. So reminder, on Thursday, you're going to want to be there for edge work overtime. Also, not sure if you guys have heard yet, but we have a new Discord. Here at the Hammer Betting Network, nearly 1,000 members are in it right now, and they're in there bantering about the games. Rob's giving out some fair prices on his primetime touchdown scorers, and you can chat directly with any creator, including myself, and ask them questions about any bet you're trying to make. You can join right now, discord.gg/hammer. Join the Discord. It's a lot of fun in there. All right. Up first, we have a NFL, NBA tennis handicapper. He's a betting analyst for NBC Sports. He's the co-host of the Deep Dive podcast. Drew, how's it going?
Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yeah, you're good. Can you hear me?
I for some reason am not getting Jason.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll try and get that sorted out in just a second here. Maybe just check on your audio, but it might be on us. It might be on us. Really excited to talk to Drew today about some football stuff. He has some interesting things. Oh, okay. Let's bring him on. We got him. There we go. It's all good. It's working now. That's all that matters. How's it going, Drew?
Oh, doing well, man. 6 weeks into the NFL season, the tide has finally turned. The long national nightmare is over. Not going to go 6 weeks in a row as with the losing NFL card. So, yeah.
Hey, you were
things
due.
Things are better.
That's what I like to hear. You were due. You were due.
Actually, week 6 in general was freaking phenomenal. So I'm in a great mood today. So I do really feel like the tide has turned.
I love to hear that. Last time I was watching your halftime. It was you and Andy talking halftime. I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but you were just on like a mountain hike, and it was the weekend that Mark Sanchez got arrested. And I have to say, if nobody's seen that, go back and watch that, because Drew missed the entire Sanchez saga, and you were like, you fully thought Andy was fucking with you. You were like, this can't be real. This can't be real. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was completely out of cell phone range in the Sierras for like 48 hours. And Andy absolutely would and has done that to me before. So it was very much like 50-50 whether he was being serious or not. And honestly, that's the most absurd thing that's happened in the NFL sphere all year by far. So it was plausible that was some bullshittery.
Yeah, anyways, the sequence of events was also crazy. Watching it like play out in real time was also crazy, but seeing your reaction to like how the sequence of events happened, it was hilarious. Anyways, let's get into today's show. We're talking specifically futures. You kind of have a cluster of futures of teams to miss the playoffs. You have 3 teams. You want to start with the 49ers here?
Yeah, sure. So I think there's different reasons to fade teams at this point in terms of make the playoffs. People have kind of established new goalposts, and a lot of that is anchored by just wins, losses. Some reasons to fade teams might be injuries. Some reasons might be strength of schedule, past and future. And some might just be, I disagree with how the market is rating this team right now and the way I project them as far as future to make the playoffs. And the Niners to me are the injury box. The Nick Bosa injury was concerning, but it didn't really shake my confidence that the Niners were going to find their way into the playoff mix, just because Kyle Shanahan is a wizard and he was still being able to score 30 points a game with Mac Jones and company. So I was like, well, as long as they have Fred Warner, let's not lose hope. Let's not lose faith in this team ultimately still winning the NFC West. They obviously had 3 banked wins against their NFC West opponents. And so I was still very much in camp. Niners are going to find a way. And then the injury to Fred Warner last week, I feel like is devastating. Not only was he sort of the field general, one of the most experienced players in the NFL, the clear, in my opinion, at least most valuable individual player to a specific defense of any player in the NFL. And his loss, I think, is going to be felt monumentally. This Niners defense now all of a sudden is a liability, and the offense is not really kind of a perfectly smooth humming machine. Everybody can kind of look at that injury report and be like, yeah. I mean, they don't have wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 on their depth chart. They don't have, they have tight end 2 going to war with tight end 2 right now. And Christian McCaffrey is kind of a constant injury question mark to my mind. So, there is still a lot of kind of downside to this offense. The offensive line has not performed especially well so far this year. So, Niners, this trapdoor could open out from under them in the absence of Fred Warner, kind of with the rest of that defense falling apart. So the fact that you can get that in like the plus 270 range for them to miss right now feels like a gift. Everybody kind of talked about how soft their schedule was as you looked at it at the beginning of the season. It hasn't really improved very much in terms of their outlook hasn't improved very much in terms of difficulty. But they do have three more tough tests in the NFC West, and I do think that right now, with the strength of this team, I'm projecting them to get to 9.4 wins. And in a crowded NFC, I don't know that that's for sure going to be enough to get a wild card if they don't win the NFC West. So Niners no on the basis of the Fred Warner injury.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense there. NFC, I feel like, is the conference that is the most crowded. most glut. We don't really know who's going to rise to the top. Is it going to be the Lions? Is it going to be the Packers? Is it going to be the Bucks? But even after those teams, there's so many teams in the mix there. Very, very tough competition for. There's going to be a good team that misses the playoffs. Simple as that, as there always is. But it feels like in the NFC, especially another NFC team you have to miss the playoffs, or you like at the given number, is the Eagles. Tell us a little bit about why you like the Eagles to miss the playoffs here.
Yeah, if you said I could only have one future bet on this show today, that would be this one. Eagles to miss at plus 205 is a huge misprice in my opinion. Right now, I'm grading the Eagles as just a little bit better than a neutral team. They're a +1 for me. Market says they're a plus. I'm just looking at unpredictable. Market says they're a plus 4.6. On what earth that squares? I can't. Not this earth. I am very, very conflicted about how to rate this offense right now. I still have them on the outside of a top 10, largely based on the strength of the offensive line. But Jalen Hurts is not playing well this year, and you've seen a clear step back from a lot of these skill position guys. So Philly's offense is not carrying the day, and the defense was, really only able to generate a pass rush when you had peak Jalen Carter available. He has not been. Quinion Mitchell going down this last week with an injury is a huge concern as well. So there is all of a sudden a lower floor with this defense than I think anyone realized. And I'm only projecting them to get to about 9.5 wins right now. Philadelphia does have one of the more difficult schedules remaining. It's a top 10 schedule in terms of strength of opposition, including this week where they got to go on the road and take on a Minnesota team that is coming off of their bye. So, I think in general, Philadelphia, the warning signs are flashing that this season is not going the way that they would have hoped for a championship defense. And I think, very carefully watching for updates on Quinion Mitchell's health and availability, as well as just kind of keeping a close eye on that locker room sort of coming apart at the seams. Nick Sirianni is sort of criminally under scrutinized for the way that he manages all of those strong opinions in that locker room. And it's a little bit of a volatile situation. So if they string together 2 or 3 losses in a row, all of a sudden things get real weird. Minnesota this week, Giants next week. If you're going to play the Giants again, I think you'd rather have them later in the season when there's a potential that Jackson Dart is hurt, because he has an injury waiting to happen, in my opinion. But ultimately, I think this Eagles squad is they're ripe for kind of a clear downgrade by market. And as you mentioned, the NFC is very, very crowded. There's only one NFC East team getting into the mix. Right now, I don't have a ton of separation in terms of neutral rating between Dallas, Washington, or Philly. I would say Washington is the best of those 3 teams as currently rated. And I think they're all going to kind of land in around 8 or 9 wins. So it's going to take injury luck to kind of separate the cream in that division. And I don't think anyone's getting a wild card.
Yeah, no, for sure. It seems like the loss of Josh Sweat and Milton Williams, maybe more impactful than many people realized. On top of that, it feels like their secondaries feeling like the second order effects of the pass rush not being good. And then Zadarius Smith also retired, who was maybe their best edge rusher, which is kind of crazy to say, but definitely their most productive. So things aren't looking too hot for this Eagles team. I will say you can get them at plus 260 though over at FanDuel Sportsbook. So if you really like that plus 205, you can get it even better. Plus 260 at our friends over at FanDuel. Last team you have to miss the playoffs here. This one, you're sticking your neck out a little bit, which I do appreciate, is the Colts. So tell us a little bit about the Colts here, which is, I'm crazy that I just said that, but yeah, it's week 7 and they look good. They look good.
Yeah, they're racking up wins. They're in a pretty winnable division. They have a nice lead. I'm not really running to window to bet the Texans or the Jags by any stretch of the imagination, but the Colts is really just kind of 2 key obvious reasons to doubt them being able to sustain this. The first is, and this is priced too. It's almost 5-1 for crying out loud. We're that sure Daniel Jones has just completely turned the corner and he's a top 5 quarterback. I'm not. There's almost certainly a world where gravity pulls him back to the middle of the pack, which means a couple of negative performances. And in general, the schedule has been exceptionally favorable for them. They have the second easiest schedule played so far by my numbers, and they have the 5th most difficult remaining. So there is definitely a world where people are kind of, shocked back to reality about how to ultimately rate this team. I think they're kind of in the +2, +3 range as far as neutral power rating goes. I'm not saying they're bad. And I'm projecting them for right now kind of in the mix for 10 wins and, a decent edge in the AFC South. But if you're saying that that there's 25% chance that they stumble here and Daniel Jones comes back to earth and the schedule gods really pull the old switcheroo, turn the tables on them, then I'm completely here for that. The defense is a little bit of a cluster injury right now going on at the secondary position, and just in general, the bounces have really gone their way so far this year. The leverage penalty got them that win against the Broncos. They were very, very clearly tested by Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals last weekend. So, there's a world where we wake up in November and we're back to kind of believing that the Colts are more like a neutral than they are like a +2, +3 type of team. Market currently has them +2.1. I think a small downgrade, all of a sudden this looks very different as far as how likely they are to make the playoffs.
All they have to do is slip out of that first seed in their division in the AFC South. If Jacksonville can surpass them, there's a chance that the team that doesn't there could be a chance that 3 of those teams don't make the playoffs in the AFC South with how, I don't want to say how weak it is, because like obviously the Colts and the Jaguars do look good, but I think both teams, to me at least, like you mentioned with the Colts, just don't feel as good as they are in terms of their wins. You have like a very specific bet here. You have Broncos to lose in the wild card round, which is a little interesting. I like how you honed in directly on that. Tell us why you did that.
I think they suck, and I think they're going to make the playoffs.
I love it. That's a great reason. That's honestly great.
Denver right now is rating the top number 1 defense. I think that carries them to a playoff spot, albeit not an AFC West title, not a 1 seed likelihood, in my opinion. Bo Nix right now is, to me at least, looks like a bottom half of the league quarterback. And there's also a little bit of a world here where they have faced a very easy schedule so far. It gets a little bit more difficult. And, I think certainly the 2 games they have left against the Chiefs, who are now at full strength offensively, are going to be a problem. They already have 1 loss against the Chargers. So, there's definitely a clear path for them getting into the playoffs as a wild card only. And I think in that world, they could be on the road against the Bills, against the Chiefs, and be like a 8 to 10 point dog. So it is threading a needle. They have to make the playoffs, and then presumably, they have to be on the road for this to have any kind of value. But the fact that you have potentially +1, what is it, +190,
+190
as far as losing in the wild card round, +190 in pocket. While ultimately they could be a 7.5 point dog on the road in the wild card round, feels pretty good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I love that look. They're I don't want to say they're almost certain to make I just don't see that. I don't see them competing for this division. The Chargers and the Chiefs to me look too good, too much better. They're a step above the Broncos, I think. And then, like you said, this Broncos defense can just carry them alone, literally like the dead corpse of their offense. It can just drag them all the way to the playoffs. Last one you wanted to mention here was who's to win the AFC, to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. Excuse me. You had the Chiefs. Talk us through that, and then you had another one which you didn't really mention that you wanted to bet, but you want to talk through. So give us why you like the Chiefs here to win the number 1 seed, and then we'll tease the second one.
As I project the rest of the schedule out, I have it as basically a 3-team race to get the 1 seed in the AFC. And it's between the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the New England Patriots, shockingly. Patriots' easiest schedule remaining. They are 10-1 to be the 1 seed. Chiefs with the best offense of any of these teams. And they, I would say, have a very, very realistic chance to get from here to the finish line with only 1 or 2 more losses. So Chiefs, I think, are absolutely live for the 1 seed, particularly with Buffalo Bills defense completely falling apart. This is now all of a sudden open for them to storm their way to playoffs, go through Arrowhead again, which I can't believe. And it is 8-1. So you can say that this is a bet to just make myself feel better. when everybody's complaining that the Chiefs have done it again and that that they get the 1 seed in the AFC, and I'll be laughing because I'll have had bet 8-1 and have that in pocket. But I think in sincerity, I'm projecting the Chiefs right now to get to 11.2 wins on the season. They don't have an especially soft schedule remaining, but obviously a huge head-to-head coming up against Buffalo in a couple of weeks that I think will ultimately decide who's your favorite in this market. The other kind of teams at the top of the board here, Colts, Chargers, Steelers. Consider me unimpressed with the Steelers so far, and I think ultimately they do get a playoff spot, probably the AFC North playoff spot. But to me, it looks like a 10-win type of team. Colts, we already kind of talked about. There's a world where the schedule flips on their head and they are not threatening for the 1 seed. And then the Chargers injuries, I still think are being a little bit underpriced by market. I don't think that team gets healthy and storms their way back in, even though I know Joe Alt is likely to come back. There is still a lot of questions about how that skill position group is going to get right, over the balance of this season. So Chiefs being kind of in the exact right position to make a run right now with Rashee Rice returning. I think this is the time to buy on them in some way, shape, or form. And the fact that the 1 seed is 8-1, I feel like that's the highest upside way to do it.
Yeah, no, and the Chiefs looked great last night 2 nights ago against the Detroit Lions. I was a little bothered by because everyone's like, all the non-ball knowers are like, why are the Chiefs favorite? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I was waiting for this exact moment to kind of buy the Chiefs because I was unsure about their offense. And then they look great. And I'm like, all right, might be too late, might have missed the boat. But no, thank you for reassuring me. The boat is still there. Going to be hopping on the Chiefs right after the show. Drew, before I let you go, Chad is asking, what's in the tank behind you?
We got some Cardinal Tetra. I got a little school of Cardinal Tetra that has a nice little 20-gallon tank, and they're healthy and happy, and gonna add some more probably this weekend now that travel is done.
All right, sweet. Hope those Cardinal Tetras are doing well. Hope the school's good. Hopefully they're learning a lot like I just did with you here. You can follow Drew on Twitter at @whale_capper. Drew, appreciate you joining us. We'll talk soon.
Hey, best luck, guys.
Thank you. See you, Drew. Awesome stuff there. Awesome stuff from Drew. Can't wait to go bet the Chiefs when I get off the show because, I like that look. Big Chiefs guy, especially with Rashee Rice back. Like, I think when you get a guy back, helps the team out so much. When you get a guy back from suspension, it's an immediate help because I'm assuming he's kept in shape. He seems like a guy who would have kept in shape because he's going to be 100% game ready. When you get a guy back from injury, it might take 1, 2, 3 games to hit that 100% mark. When he's back from suspension, he's good to go. Whatever the suspension was bad. Let's not talk about that. Like, I mean, he served his time. Don't do that for Rashee Rice again. But yeah, happy that he's back. Anyways, before we get got some NHL action coming up here with So Money Sports. I want to see some #EdgeWorks in the chat. Before we do, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor over at FanDuel. Hockey is back, and FanDuel is giving you a shot at boosted winnings when you make a bet on all the action on the rink. Because right now, all customers have a chance to score big with a 50% profit boost. Just make your pick, apply the boost, and if it hits, you'll get extra winnings at no extra cost. And with FanDuel, you can bet on goal scores, assists, points, saves, and so much more. Plus, you'll get paid with your winnings instantly. Ready to play your game? Just visit FanDuel.com/forward-progress to get in on the action. That's FanDuel.com/forward-progress to claim your 50% profit boost right now. You can score big on your next hockey bet with FanDuel, an official partner of the NHL. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call Connex Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. All right. See some EdgeWorks in the chat. I see you edgers out there. I see you guys out there. He's a baseball bettor. He's a puck knower. He was at the Canucks game last night. He didn't see 1 goal. He didn't see 2 goals. He saw 3 goals. 1 from his life, from his bloodline himself. So many sports. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Jason. How you doing?
Good, good. How exciting was it to watch your kids score in Rogers Arena, Rogers Center? What is it?
Yeah, Rogers Arena. It's
Rogers
just
Arena.
outstanding. What a life experience for me. Yeah, no, but he was ecstatic, and
Yeah.
that's all. That's all that matters. We got all the videos. There were many people in the stands that were videoing or like recording for us from different angles. So it was we got his goal from various different angles, which was nice.
That's awesome stuff. It was cool to see as well. Plus, you got to watch a good game, even though the Canucks lost, which not as good, but it is what it is. It is what.
Did
it
they
is.
lose? Did they?
I don't even. You left after that point, eh? It's all good. It's all good. I mean, tough day for us Canadians yesterday. Very tough day on Thanksgiving. Like, we're supposed to be enjoying. Like, thank God we're with our family and friends, because like it was a rough one. 0-2 if you're a Leafs fan. 0-2 if you're a Canucks fan. 0-3 if you're a Canucks, Jays, Leafs, Jays, Bills, like any kind of mixture like that. You're 0-3. It's like horrible day. Tons of losses. Let's talk about our Jays though quickly, because we're down 2-0. Got a three game home stretch in Seattle. They need to take at least 2 of those games. Just math. Like if they don't, they're out of the series.
They literally have to.
They like quite literally have to. Like, what's the temperature check on our Jays here?
It's tough. The 2-3-2 format makes it really difficult. But I don't think the series is over. Right? You're gonna go to Seattle. That ballpark plays differently. You're gonna have lower scoring games theoretically, right? So I mean, these games we'll see. I think we'll see similar to what we saw in the Detroit series and for the games played in Seattle, where it'll be low scoring. It's going to come down to a couple of coin flips. So, I mean, what can you say? You just got to go win the coin flips, I guess.
Yeah, it's easy. You just got to flip a coin, hope for the best. 50-50 shot. Just do it 3 times in a row and you're good. Or 4 times, sorry. 4 times in a row and you're good. Yeah. Temperature check for me, I'm scared, but I'm used to it. So it's like I'm numb to it at this point. All right. There are chat. Relax. I see you. There's 8 NHL games today. We're going to get to them right now. Let's see which ones you wanted to touch on a couple of them in particular. Let's talk about the Lightning at Capitals. Tampa Bay taking on Washington. Washington minus 113 favorites. Total at 5.5 right now. Slight juice towards the over there. You like one of the sides in this game. Tell us a little bit about it here.
Yeah. I played Tampa Bay here. Plus money. I like them all the way up to minus 107, minus 107 ish. So there's still some room looking at the board right now. I think coming into this year, I'm high on Tampa Bay. I'm low on Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Washington is a team that I think they overperformed quite a bit last year. It's one of those things where I'm like my peers are kind of torn with me. So they're either going to win me a lot of money, and I was completely right, or they're going to cost me a lot because I'm going to continue fading them, just like I did against the Rangers, and I lost that game. So hopefully this one turns out a little bit different for me. And Tampa Bay, the little bit of a rough start for Tampa Bay this season, but there's no panic there. I think that they'll be able to they'll be able to get it here.
Yeah, Washington's in an interesting place because you feel like the Ovi situation last year really like kind of propelled them as a team, and they kind of played above water. They're definitely a talented team, but are they as talented as what we saw on the ice last year? I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. Plus Tampa Bay, I mean, love their talent. Think they're deep all 4 lines at forward. Obviously good on defense as well. Good goaltending. I'm a fan of the Lightning here. You can find them at minus 106 right now at FanDuel. There's a couple plus 100s, out there. There's still some plus monies available. So if you want to go scoop those up, you can. Let's talk a little bit about the Oilers and the Rangers. Oilers favorites on the road in New York. Totals at 5.5. I believe slight juice towards the over here. What side do you or total? Do you like in this game?
I do like the under. I need a little bit better though. I haven't. I haven't played it. I think that both these teams, um, neither of them want to play run and gun here. I think that the Oilers have showed us over the last couple of years that they do value defense, even though they have, outstanding top end talent. They do want their game to start defensively, and the Rangers will probably go through stretches this year where they're going to struggle to score, but um, elite goaltending, their defense is going to be better. So I do like the under. I just need a little bit more there. One under I am on, and I just played this was the Vegas Calgary under 6. I Similar to Edmonton Rangers in the sense that both of these teams they do they do identify themselves as under teams first. And Vegas, a little bit of a tough start defensively. Didn't get some great goaltending early in the year, but I think that they'll be fine. Calgary got into a end-to-end game against St. Louis, gave up a ton of high danger chances. I don't think that that's gonna continue. Wolf, little bit of a tough start as well for him. But I'm not worried about him long term, especially on a team that is going to try to insulate him as best they can. So I did play Vegas Calgary under at 6, and I like that up to minus 115. I like that.
All right, minus 115. There's a couple minus 115s still out there. Is there any other games on the board that you're looking at that you're looking to bet, or was that about it for you here?
Yeah, one more game that I'm hoping gets into range a little bit more here. It's the Pittsburgh Anaheim over. Um, we know about Pittsburgh's goaltending. If you're an edger, yeah, we've talked about that quite a bit. Anaheim wants to play run and gun, and they're not good defensively. They do want to create offensively. So, and I think that Pittsburgh at this point of their development cycle are going to be they're not going to go into an out of conference game on the road and try to shore up defensively here. So I do think that game's going to get it's going to get pretty wide open.
All right. There's a couple chat messages from Moretto here giving out plays. He agrees with you on the consensus bet, Lightning consensus, so he likes that. Also consensus on the Calgary Vegas Golden Knights under 6. But he has another one here. He said Nashville, Toronto over 6.5 plus money, which seems a little interesting for a Toronto team that is struggling to score right now and plays like wet blanket hockey. Are you consensus with the over 6.5 plus money?
I'll be neutral there. Yeah, I can see Moretto's angle there, but I still need more. I need more time with Nashville. They're one of those teams where I didn't think that they were as bad as they showed last season, but I don't know how good they are, and I don't know how good they are in generating offense. I don't know if the form that we saw from Soros last year, how that continues going forward. I know that smaller goalies, they tend to break down earlier, so. We'll see. Nashville's just one of those teams where I just need to see more from.
Okay. All right. That's about it in terms of games. Give me we're only still, what was it, 5-6 days into the end, maybe 7 days now into the NHL season. We've already had a couple of days off, which is crazy. The Friday last week of no hockey was almost criminal. We got to talk to the schedule makers about that one when you can go head to head with college football and Sunday football. You have to do that when on Friday there's basically no sports on. Anyways, what's your biggest takeaway? Let's talk about on ice takeaways outside the schedule makers. Biggest on ice takeaways that you have so far this early on in the season.
Biggest takeaway would be I think that the city of Buffalo might actually be cursed. There's just Buffalo was a team that I expected to make the playoffs. They're a team that I felt that are finally going in the right direction in terms of personnel, in terms of the way they want to play the game. And then you have these freak injuries in practice. You have guys going down all over the place. It's just and then the Bills yesterday, right? So it's just like one of those things where Buffalo might actually be cursed. That's my biggest takeaway. I don't understand how poorly they've looked, even with the injuries. Um, they they just don't look like they were ready to start the season.
They look terrible. They have looked terrible. The new guard that was supposed to come in and save them, and Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin are going to be on their way out soon. It seems like, and it's just like a vicious cycle of like these players coming in. We'll call it developing on Buffalo and then getting shipped out. And yeah, I remember looking at a Buffalo team from a couple of years ago that had like Jake McCabe, Ryan O'Reilly. Like they had pieces, they had a core. You just got to keep it together, and you could have built from there. But they just haven't been able to do it. It sucks to see. Sucks to see. People in the chat are saying that Elias Pettersson wants to leave. I don't know. I don't know where this information is coming from. How does that make you feel, so money?
You know, all right. So I don't want to get onto one of my Canucks rants here, but I will say that I'm not. I don't usually give up on players so early in their careers. I think that it would benefit teams to be more patient with younger players in their organization. I understand Elias's contract. I understand that he's not a rookie anymore, but he's still on the younger side. Um, there's not much we can do at this point. We are locked into the contract. We have to play through it, and um, I mean, whatever we can to build this kid up. Like clearly, he has no confidence. That first goal against the Blues last night, that was some of the weakest defense board play I've seen in quite some time, and he was just nudged off the puck, and it was back the other way. So, yeah, there's nothing we can do at this point. The organization needs to find a way to build this kid up. He has absolutely no confidence right now.
Yeah, well, hopefully they can. Always want to see younger-ish players succeed. I don't want to call him that young because I don't feel young, and he's around the same age as me. But yeah, always want to see young guys succeed in the NHL. But hopefully it doesn't get in the way of our Canucks futures that we've been jamming all off season. So money, appreciate you coming on. Any last words for the chat, for the edgers out there? Are you going to be on Thursday, by the way, for Edgework Overtime?
Yeah, I'll be on Thursday. I'll be on Thursday. Just thank you guys, all the support. I read everything. Yeah, you guys are awesome. It's so nice to have a hockey community that we can interact with every day, learn from each other, bounce ideas off each other. It's really important. So thank you guys, all the support. I do appreciate all of it.
And we appreciate you, So Money. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right, go follow So Money on sports. So Money on Twitter at So Money Sports. Wow, tough word day for me, but it'll get.
Your head's still in the long weekend, man.
I mean, I was stuck in bed the entire long weekend. I didn't see anybody. It was kind of a tough long.
You're sick?
Oh yeah, I'm still like today was finally the first day in like what feels like over a week where I've actually felt okay. My throat still hurts a little bit, which I don't know if you can tell in my voice, but yeah, it was a tough weekend. It was a tough weekend. No turkey for me. I only got the leftovers. But
that's a big shame.
I know. It's all good. Leftovers are the best part anyways. Speaking of leftovers, we have the leftovers of today's show. Rob Pizzola coming on. Before we bring him on here, just want to quickly remind everyone, if you want to fire on Week 7 bets on the NFL, we got our Tuesday Best Bets show live at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. G-Stack, Flup, and another week with Suma. They're all giving out their 3 best bets and breaking down every single game. It's tomorrow. That's today, at 5 p.m. Eastern time on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. You're going to want to go check it out. They got some pretty good chemistry, and Flup might have read an injury report this week, maybe. So we'll see.
He is the injury report.
He is the injury report. He knows all. He knows all. Yeah, it's a good watch. It's a good watch. All right, let's bring him on. He's the CEO of the Hammer Betting Network. I've seen him on Circles Off YouTube channel. He every time I have him as the anytime touchdown winner, but it didn't happen this week. Instead he just hits a 27-1 or 26-1 parlay on the Monday Night Watch Along last night. It's like, when is this ever going to end, Rob?
You know what? it's going to end when GRP starts tracking me and I go into like some sort of tailspin. You notice how he's tracking the guys who are struggling to start the year, but the minute somebody gets off to like a great hot streak, the tracking's not there to be found. So I think that's when it's officially going to end, when the pressure of GRP tracking me officially mounts. But yeah, it was a great night. And you know what? I think we got to say, Jason, now, Caleb's got to be better than Jaden Daniels, right?
Oh
I mean, he got the W as a 5.5 point underdog on the road. How do we not say that at this point?
There's a specific someone in our Forward Progress group chat who said they picked the Commanders -4 because they wanted to watch me struggle and like forcefully make me cheer for the Commanders, as if our like super team contest would change my allegiance whatsoever. No, I shoved on the Bears last night. I said the market's wrong. So
yeah. I could have given you $100,000 free roll on the Commanders money line, and I still don't think you could stop cheering for Caleb Williams. I think you actually have a sickness.
That's a $0 free roll.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, it would have been at the end of the day. It would have been for sure. But yeah, I know. It's got the job done. A few bad throws mixed in.
A few good throws there that got taken away. Like I see some people who bet on the Commanders complaining about how they got like bad variance. Like I'm sorry, like you got a touchdown taken away from like an awful penalty. Like the Commanders were significantly helped by bad penalties by the Bears, but were able to move the chains off some bad penalties by the Bears. Yeah. So like it's not like that bad of a loss. Like they were still they closed to like almost 6 point favorites, and they did not. That was a wrong number on that game. Anyways,
you know what? As someone who bet the Bears 4.5, thinking like this is impossible. How could this be? How could this number go out any further? Got to take the Bears. I was pretty shocked to see the amount of Commanders money this week, and it's not. You know what? I like getting closing line value. I like the spots where you get CLV. If you feel like rewarded for betting early, the market agrees with you. But my favorite spot in all of sports is when the market is opposite you and you win. Mm-hmm. That to me is the biggest ego boost you could possibly get. And when we all bet on sports, we all have at least a little bit of an ego. So when the market shits on you and you win, one of the best feelings as a bettor.
Sometimes the market just doesn't know ball. It is what it is. Who is this market that they speak of anyways? All right, let's get into the so-called big scary market right now, because we've seen a lot of movement throughout the first day of these lines being officially posted here. Let's start with the Thursday night football game. Absolute stinker. I know Moreto's going to stay at home for this one. Steelers taking on the Bengals. Maybe a little bit more interesting now that Joe Flacco's in the fold. Seems like some over money was taken here for this game. Wonder if that has to do with maybe Joe Flacco coming in looking competent versus what Jake Browning showed us. What are your thoughts here on the over action on this game?
Yeah, well, we could say Joe Flacco looked competent coming in for Jake Browning. They still averaged 4.3 yards per play on offense. So I don't know if it's necessarily that, Jay. I think it's just more with the fact that Trey Hendrickson left week 6 with a back injury, and this is a short week type of game. The Bengals defense is already an abomination, bottom 8 in the league in pretty much every metric this year. You take away their stud on defense who can get after the quarterback. I think that's going to make life a little bit easier for Aaron Rodgers. This was something me and Clive talked about on Sunday Reset on Forward Progress. Probably the market going to go up here, even though you don't think of either of these offenses as being great. But between Hendrickson being out potentially for Cincinnati, Darius Slay hurt his shoulder for Pittsburgh as well. Typically when you have injuries on defense, market reacts accordingly to that. So not really a surprise to see this go towards the over. Pittsburgh's offense is pretty efficient. Like I know a lot of it's underneath. Average depth of target for Aaron Rodgers is really, really low this year, but they've overcome that with a lot of yards after catch. Mm-hmm. And the Bengals can't really tackle on the backside of their defense either. So this one to me there's a few surprising ones this week. This one to me is not surprising that we've seen early over money.
Yeah, right now at FanDuel, 42.5 -115. 43.5s are starting to pop up all over the place. A couple 43s. Yeah, I think FanDuel has like one of the only 42s still available in market if you want to go scoop that up. All right, let's move on and take a look at the Rams-Jacksonville game. Another London game. I mean, hopefully we get some better product there. We should be getting some better product there for the the poor people in England who had to deal with whatever that was. Maybe that's the football that they're talking about. That definitely wasn't American football, what I watched. We saw some ticks towards Jacksonville here and some money come in as well on the under. Do you agree with both of these moves?
Yeah, so under here was the only look that I gave on the Sunday reset this week. So I can't say that I'm surprised on this one. In terms of the Jacksonville Jaguars getting money, I guess this is a neutral site game. Depending on how you rank these two teams, I think there's a pretty wide range as to where you rank both the Rams and the Jags this season. And I could definitely see some people saying there's not a 3-point difference on a neutral between these teams. Give me the Jags. Personally, I would be more interested in the Rams if this number came off of 3. I just think when I look at this game, both these defenses have held up surprisingly well this year for the most part. And you can say, well, there's been some easy games on the schedule, but you can adjust for quality of opponent as well. You can adjust your numbers for schedule. I think both these teams have played like top 10 defenses so far this year. Whether that's going to continue going forwards, we don't necessarily know. But we've seen with the Jacksonville Jaguars offense that if you can shut down the running game, like Seattle did last week, they'll really struggle to move the ball. The Rams have been a pretty effective run defense all year long. And conversely, the exact same thing is going to apply on the other side of the ball. The Rams tend to struggle if they can't get the running game going as an offense. They're kind of reliant on that a little bit. And Jacksonville's been very, very good at defending the run as well. So for me, this is just like a stylistic matchup where both teams really want to get the running game working for everything else in their offense to work. And both of the other teams' opposing defenses are quite good at stopping the run so far this year. So that's kind of why I like the under in the early going. Market seems to agree with me on that one. But in terms of the side itself, I don't have a strong opinion. And you also have to monitor the status of Puka Nacua. I don't think he's going to miss this week. He came back after that foot injury, but that's just like another thing that if you're going to bet early in the week, it's not a 0% chance that he's going to miss, right? Like there's some probability that he's going to miss, which you have to account for in your numbers as well. So totally understand the under here.
Yeah, I'm shocked that you think that Puka is going to play, especially with like the flight over. I mean, like we saw what happened with Xavier Worthy when he flew for the Monday night game. His ankle swell up, ankle injury for Puka. Maybe the swell up happens again for him. Might be hard for him to play. I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, if Jacob the Giant knows to wear a brace when he's flying overseas, I think maybe the team doctors for the Rams might be able to figure out, let's put a sleeve on this guy or something so that he doesn't get swelling on the airplane. But I mean, who knows? This is the NFL. We see crazy shit all the time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they do have a bye week after this. So who knows? Maybe that could factor into their decision of whether or not they want him to start or not. All right, let's move on to the Miami-Cleveland game. Miami definitely looked a lot better this week, but Cleveland is just still an atrocious, pitiful offense. We've seen the total come down to, it's at 40 and a half-ish right now. It was at 41 and a half where it opened. Agree with this move here? Do you feel like that feels about right?
I really struggle to price Cleveland totals, and we're going on a pretty long stretch now of them being unable to score 20 points in a game. So I understand where this is coming from. My hesitancy with this is Miami has such a bad defense. Like overall, bottom 3 in the league, in my opinion, this year, maybe with Dallas and Cincinnati. You could argue bottom 2, the Dolphins defense this year. So if there was ever a game where the Browns offense is going to get going, it would be this one. But I do understand the move towards the under. Cleveland's defense tends to play a lot better at home. Miami, I will say they did generate some stuff downfield last week, but I don't think that's going to be the case regularly for them without Tyreek Hill. And then you factor in some injuries on the Cleveland offensive line. Cam Robinson, their left tackle, limped off last week. The right tackle, Jack Conklin, who's always injured, got concussed last week. David Njoku got hurt. So I think you add all these things in together, and I understand why someone would want to go and grab the under in the early going. The only problem I have, Jason, is that like Miami to me profiles as such an over team. I was the idiot who played them under against the Chargers last week, and that was like completely dead, I thought, in the early going. They just don't have a good enough defense. They will play fast on offense. They'll take risks. Tua will throw picks. It can be bad field position for them. So I get it. I can see what someone might see in the under here. Personally, it's not something that I want to be on this week, though.
Yeah, it's the classic Cleveland offense. That's the stoppable force versus the Miami defense, which is a movable object. Should be a fun one to watch. A couple other games we have coming up here. Carolina Panthers taking on the New York Jets. Carolina 3-3. Holy golly. Coming off some 3 big wins. Rico Dowdle looks like an absolute stud. We saw the Jets, I believe they were favorites. Now it's looking like they're +2-ish right now. Total came down from 44 to 42. Do you agree with this move off of the Jets? I mean, Jets haven't really given you anything to make you feel inspired about them at all. So, talk us through this game here.
Yeah, the Jets feel like what we would call a dead team. They basically feel like the Titans with Callahan as their head coach, where they don't have a quarterback, they don't have a head coach, and that's a real problem in the NFL. Carolina's metrics have been pretty good, especially defensively. They've been a huge surprise in terms of what their defensive output has been so far this year. So when you're just looking, on the basis of, let's take this year's numbers. We're in week 6 now. We have a fairly decent sample size. There's no way you could really get to the Jets being favored at this point. I mean, Carolina's been the much better football team. I do question Carolina's ability to travel. This has been the case for Bryce Young for a while now. And it's really tough in the NFL because you're already dealing with small samples. So I'm very hesitant to take like a small sample and make it even smaller by splitting into home and away splits. But there is a pretty drastic split between Bryce Young on the road and at home. With that said, the Jets are just a really bad football team. I can see why all the Panthers money came in, also see why all the under money came in. And I think that kind of plays into, can the Carolina Panthers offense take this show out onto the road? Jermaine Johnson was back for the Jets defense last week. They looked much better on the defensive line. They harassed Bo Nix for a lot of the day, and Denver has a pretty good O-line. So there's reason to believe here that with the Carolina O-line as it stands right now, down 2 guards, starting center, potentially starting right tackle again, that the Jets defense can cause some chaos. So personally, I played some under in this game. I like the under quite a bit in this game. I understand the move towards Carolina as well, though.
Yeah, plus no Garrett Wilson as well for New York Jets, which is like, I mean, their best receiver now is Alan Lazard, which is going to be tough sledding for them. Question to you. Go ahead.
Jason, like that receiving core without Garrett Wilson,
horrible,
is horrendous. Like if lots of people play fantasy football, there's lots of people out there that know ball. I posed this question on the watch along last night. Like, can people name me 3 receivers on the Jets with Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard not there? And I don't think a single person in the chat got 3 receivers. And that's the state of the offense right now. If for those at home listening, Josh Reynolds, Arian Smith, Tyler Johnson would be the top 3 that are remaining on that depth chart. It's ugly.
Yeah, I here I am thinking that Tyler Johnson still played on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I saw Tez Johnson catching a touchdown, then the other Johnson catching a touchdown. I'm like, where the hell is Tyler Johnson? Now I know he's on the New York Jets. Quickly, if Tyrod Taylor was ruled, like, I know this might be like a moot point because Aaron Glenn said that he's probably not moving off of Tyrod Taylor, or sorry, not moving off of Justin Fields. But if Tyrod Taylor came into this game, even with all these injuries, is that 2.5, which is available at FanDuel, the only 2.5 I really see in the market here, is that an appealing click? Would you just like instinctively almost click that because what you've seen out of Justin Fields is just atrocious, or like, no, not really. I don't want anything to do with this Jets team.
It's tough. I think people overrate Tyrod Taylor quite a bit. I mean, he's been a journeyman backup for a long time now, and he can come in and he can give you an okay start. And we saw that already with the Jets this season, but he did throw a pick 6 in that game when he came in. I don't know that there's much difference between these two. I mean, Fields is quite bad. It's the same story wherever he goes. He can't process the field in real time. He just gets stuck. I mean, 9 sacks that he took last week for somebody with his mobility, that's a real problem. And he's put in bad positions as well, but I don't know. I don't think a Tyrod start, me personally, it wouldn't lead me to go running to bet the Jets right away. I just think that football team is extremely horrible.
Completely down and out. Let's talk 2 more teams that aren't as down and out, but maybe trending in the wrong direction. Philadelphia and Minnesota. It seems like the market just absolutely hates Philadelphia, and I think that's correct. And I think maybe we got to come down on them a little bit harder here. We saw Minnesota side get bet a little bit. We saw this over get bet up a little bit as well. Kind coming out of a bye here. Do you like Minnesota? And do we know for certain who's going to be starting at quarterback here? I have not looked into this at all. Is it JJ McCarthy? Is it going to be Carson Wentz? What's happening here for the quarterback situation?
So the latest there is that Kevin O'Connell said that they are both dealing with injuries. Carson Wentz has a shoulder injury, and JJ McCarthy still recovering from his ankle injury. He did say it won't be a surprise who will start this week, so at some point they'll announce it, but we really don't know as of yet. I don't know that there's a huge difference between the two as it stands right now, but there's a lot to process in this game. Minnesota is coming off of a bye week, and Minnesota going into their bye week had a lot of injuries, especially on the offensive line. Their offensive line was in shambles. So this is kind of one where I'd want to wait to see what the early practice reports are looking like. On the Eagles side, Quinyon Mitchell is very likely not playing in this game, and they just don't have cornerback depth. Like, they cannot cover Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison without Quinyon Mitchell. So that throws a wrench into things as well. I saw the market obviously move towards Minnesota, tick towards the over as well. And I mean, just to be completely honest, I'm much more inclined to bet the under in this game. I don't hold the Eagles offense in high regard. They can't really stretch the field all that much right now. It's just a shell of its former self. On the other side of things, yes, the Quinyon Mitchell hurts, but they'll get Jalen Carter back, and their splits with him on and off the field this year are pretty massive. The times he's been off the field, teams have moved it at will. I just ultimately see this as two very good defenses with good defensive coordinators and offenses that I don't trust. So my biggest interest in this game will be towards the under, but I kind of want to see this play out over the course of the week. And if Minnesota's going to have a fully healthy O-line, then that might make me pivot towards Minnesota more so than the under.
All right, pivoting towards Minnesota. It seems like I just have no faith in this Eagles team as well here. Two more games left. With significant moves. The Commanders Cowboys game jumped up from 53-ish to around 54, 55 and a half, 54 and a half juiced over at FanDuel. If you like that over on this game. Any reason in particular are we seeing CeeDee Lamb come back for the Cowboys? Maybe Terry McLaurin comes back. Jane Daniels finally getting fully healthy because maybe he's been playing slightly hurt. What's going on there with that total?
Yeah, I think for starters, the Cowboys defense, you can look at the performance against the Jets a few weeks ago, but you might as well just throw that in the garbage because the Jets offense is so bad that in hindsight, you might actually look at it and be like, the Jets offense did better than we expect against that defense. Dallas's defense is the worst in the league. They don't generate pressure. They can't stop the run. So automatically there's going to be interest in the over there, regardless of who Washington has on offense, because Dallas can't really stop anyone. But it's the other side of the ball where Dallas's offense, I mean, like, they just profile as such a big over team. Like, their top 5 efficiency metrics across the board offensively, bottom 3 across the board defensively. And it's kind of not really a surprise. But now we're seeing, like, we don't really see totals like this very often nowadays in NFL anymore. COVID season, yeah, we saw maybe a few that were upper 50s, but 55 is a pretty damn big number. I can't really make the argument for the under here, though. I just do think that this sets up where both offenses can have a lot of success against each other. Washington lost Dorrance Armstrong on their defensive line yesterday. That is expected to be a multi-week injury. He's one of their best defenders. They're already thin on the defensive line. You mentioned CeeDee Lamb. Jerry Jones today said he's optimistic about CeeDee Lamb playing. I mean, if I had a dime for every time Jerry Jones has lied in his life, I'd be a billionaire just like he is. So I don't know that we could put a lot of stock into that, but it does seem plausible that he'll be back this week, and maybe someone in the market is taking an early stance on that as well. So no argument here. I think this is going to be a shootout, but at this point, like, you go and chase over 55? No, I don't think you have to do that either.
All right, last game we have here is Houston, Seattle, the Monday Night Football game, which is at 10 p.m. Can't wait for that one. I think I'm officially old now that I'm bothered by that. But Seattle, 3.5-point favorites here at home. Saw them take a little bit of money here. Market believes in them. Love to see that. We also saw some money come in on the under. Is this like a buying of health regression, or like the Seattle secondary is finally getting healthy? Is that the reason for this move?
I think it's a combo of year-to-date metrics plus optimism about Seattle getting some defensive players back. So I would estimate now, and this is just my own personal estimates, but Devin Witherspoon, Reek Woolen, Julian Love, I think all three are greater than 50% to play this week. And the reason I say that is because at least all of them got in a limited practice towards the end of last week. And typically speaking, there's some correlation between practicing late in the week prior, missing the game, and then coming back for the following game. So I think somebody might see that. Definitely, if you look at metrics this year, I mean, forget about Houston's game against Baltimore. That was such a depleted Ravens defense. They didn't play an NFL caliber defense that week. But Houston profiles as a pretty large under team, an offense that struggles to move the ball, a defense that's pretty solid personnel-wise, defensive-minded head coach. So I get the under move. I get the Seattle move based off of year-to-date metrics. My biggest concern is typically we do see teams adjust a lot over a bye week. If there's an offense struggling, I'm inclined to believe that they'll still struggle for the remainder of the year, but there's often an inflection point, which is the bye week, where all of a sudden they instill and make a few changes and it switches on a dime. And Houston, they don't have the O-line to me to be able to pull that off successfully, but they do have weapons on the outside and with Christian Kirk back as well. So I could potentially see some sort of scenario where we see an uptick in their offense going forwards, but none of the early movement surprises me just based off of how things have played out this year. Seattle has shown that they are a very good football team right now, and I think the market has accurately moved out towards them and towards the under on the basis of Houston's offense potentially struggling in this matchup.
Sam Darnold looks incredible. That USC QB factory is alive and well. Rob, appreciate you joining us for today. Any last thoughts before you head out here? Any words for the chat? Maybe like a hockey anytime goal scorer, because chat loves to see that stuff. Putting you on the spot here.
No, it's fine. I just want to be honest with you. It's too early for me to do this stuff. I don't start betting hockey till about 3 weeks into the season. For reasons that I've been very honest with the reason. We suck betting hockey early in the season. We've always lost. And for me, I find it real hard to value the offseason changes properly. So we just kind of wait till there's enough data points on every team before we start betting it. So I'm not going to give any of that out at this point. I just don't want to do a disservice to people. But you can take your cues from No Money Sports, who was on in the previous segment as well, if you want to bet hockey tonight, because he's pretty solid.
All right, I'm going to give out maybe an Isaac Howard anytime goal, which is best price at FanDuel, plus 850.
You're gonna force me into finding something in real time.
It's okay. We'll do it for next week then. We'll do it.
I see the Isaac Howard 850. Okay. I see where you're going there.
Maybe fade the new paid man Lane Hudson under half point plus 126.
How about a little Kirill Kaprizov 2+ goals at plus 750?
There we go. I love that one. Plus 750. You can find that on FanDuel. Rob,
I like betting goal scorers to score. You know,
that makes the most. That's what they do. unless they live in Toronto, that's what they do. Anyways, Rob, appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
All right, thanks, Jay.
All right, see ya. That was a great little segment. Great show today. One's in the chat for the show. Going to talk about what we have coming up next at the Hammer Monday. Today's Tuesday. Wednesday morning we have circles off a
Life of a Capper video.
Life of a Capper
Not tomorrow morning, but 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Sorry, 1 p.m. tomorrow. What's the subject matter for that one?
A little bit of advice from some professionals in the space and habits that have helped them get the success they've had in the space.
Does Isaac talk about one of his biggest habits, climbing a tree? Is that what he talks about?
That one doesn't come up in this episode.
Okay, all right. Well, apparently, good habit to have a sports bettor. You're going to want to check that out. Before that, though, today, 5 p.m. Eastern time, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, Tuesday Best Bet Show. I think that's it for today and tomorrow, right? Like, that's pretty much it. I don't think anything else is on schedule for us. I think
for today and tomorrow, I think that's about it.
Hammer Daily tomorrow. You might want to tune into that live right here on the Hammer HQ YouTube channel, live at noon Eastern. You're gonna want to be here. I'm gonna have hopefully more energy as I slowly recover from maybe the worst illness I've had in like years. Tomorrow we got Mr. Peanut Butter coming on. We're gonna talk about James Franklin, who imagine being. I don't want to say being so bad at your job that you get paid $50 million to leave, but that's essentially what happened here. He completely lost the locker room. We can talk about it a lot tomorrow, but imagine getting paid $50 million to get fired.
Rob, I mean, if you feel like it, I'm okay with it if you are.
I know, like, how bad do you have to be? Completely lost his locker room, lost to Northwestern, lost to UCLA, lost to Oregon. Oregon doesn't look that bad, but UCLA and Northwestern, I mean, tough losses, lost the locker room. Penn State is one of the worst things to happen to Penn State in recent memory. We'll say that because a lot worse stuff happened there. Anyways, we also have Kirk Evans on the show tomorrow. We're going to be talking more NBA stuff. Gave out his win totals last time. Curious what he's got in his bag for us this week. And then special surprise guest. So going to be a lot of fun. If you missed out on the watch along on Monday night, you missed out on a big SGP. But good news, there's a Thursday night watch along that you can tune into on Forward Progress as well. Going to be a great time. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. And a quick reminder, Thursday as well, Edge Work, overtime. If you were here for So Money segment, make sure you're there on Thursday. It's going to be towards the end of the show. So you're going to want to stick around for that. We're going extra long for you guys because we appreciate you Edgers in the chat. Thank you again, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate you. Smash the like button on the way out. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Hopefully we earned it today. Set those reminders so you can be notified every time we go live. We're live noon Eastern, Monday to Friday, except for Canadian holidays. Noon Eastern, Monday to Friday. We are live, so you're going to no reason to ever miss it. No reason to ever miss it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. It's been the Tuesday, October 14th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. See you guys tomorrow.